cash a meal. And do it through the pain, I don't need the pain. And life gon' get me down, but it won't break my will. Cause I've been chasing this so long, I can't give up. I won't give in, been through too much. I done prayed for the money, I done prayed for the fame. I done prayed that I will make a sacrifice and play this game. I done prayed that my life would never be the same. I done prayed that I will make it bring glory to my name.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the NFL Coverage. Before we get started, this podcast is brought to you by Final Form Subs. Again, Final Form Subs, my favorite supplement here is creatine. Creatine is like the gold standard supplement. Helps with recovery, losing fat, getting lean. So whether you're trying to put on muscle, put on weight, whether you're trying to lose weight, whether you're just trying to help your overall general fitness and health, creatine is the thing for you. We also have things from multivitamins to bone stuff for bone and heart health, all kinds of things. Go to finalformsubs.com. Check us all the products we have there, and then use promo code COACHSTRIP, all caps, no space, to get 10% off your order. Final Form Subs, achieve your final form. Now, getting into it, we have some exciting stuff going on this past week in the NFL. So we're just going to get started in order and get rocking. All right, so Broncos, Chiefs. Actually, not too bad of a game for the Broncos. The Broncos started off rough offensively, but defensively for the Broncos, that's probably the best they've looked all year defensively. They hold the Chiefs to 19 points. They're only able to score 8. Russell Wilson kind of got going towards the end of the game, but it was too late by then. Chiefs get the dub. Baltimore Ravens, Tennessee Titans. Again, another game where the Titans started off very, very slow in the beginning. They started to get some momentum in the end to kind of close the gap, but Baltimore gets it done with Lamar Jackson, and so Ravens move to 4-2 with Lamar Jackson doing it all, also with 223 passing as well as 62 yards rushing. Now is where we kind of start to get interesting. So Washington Commanders beat the Falcons. So Washington Commanders are starting to show that they're a decent team. They're an average team, right? I feel like early on they were kind of on the cusp of being not good at all, but they're 3-3. Falcons are 3-3. So they're both two teams that are always kind of a play or two, or each game they don't play a complete game. So like one game their offense is well, defense is not so good. One day their special teams kicks them in the butt, but their defense is solid. So those are two teams that are kind of still trying to find their way as they move on from week 6. San Francisco 49ers and the Cleveland Browns. Again, Cleveland Browns have the number 1 defense in the NFL. And I remember saying I was interested to see how this game was going to play out. And it kind of played out how I was expecting. I'm not surprised the Browns got the dub because you got that number 1 defense. So they hold San Francisco to 17 points. The Browns scored 19. Oh, excuse me. Long day. And that's without Nick Chubb. So the Browns got it done. They moved to 3-2. San Francisco go to 5-1. Again, if I'm San Francisco, I'm not panicking. I understand that you're playing the best defense in the NFL. Brock Purdy only had 125, 1 touchdown, one interception. Christian McCaffrey only had 43. And I said last week that for the Cleveland Browns, if they can stop Christian McCaffrey or hold him from having these explosive plays, that they'll get the dub. That's exactly what they did. So Browns beat San Francisco 49ers. Saints at Houston. Houston gets another dub. So Houston, they finally tie up to go to 500 on the season. So it's looking like Houston is starting to string together some wins. CJ Stroud's looking good. Their offense is looking good. And their defense is playing significantly better. They hold the Saints to 13 points. So they take the win over the Saints. And now we have Carolina Panthers and the Miami Dolphins. Again, nothing surprising there. Miami, like I said, they're going to bounce back. That one game was just, they took the L, but they're going to continue to win games here. So we have Tua Tagovailoa with 262 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, and then Mostert with 115 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill, 163 yards and a tutty. Waddle, 51 and a tutty. Mostert also had a receiving touchdown. So, I mean, the team's kind of, they're not going to let that one loss kind of mess up their identity. They're still going to come out and they're going to continue to win. And they're still looking like a solid team. Next, we have the Seattle Seahawks and the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals get the dub 17-13 in a low-scoring game. Seahawks move to 3-2. Bengals are 3-3. These are the old records, but anyway, they're 3-3, 3-2, yada yada yada. So Bengals get the win there. Again, Joe Burrow, they're starting to string together some wins, and I was saying this is interesting to see how the Bengals are going to react after getting that first dub on getting back on the winning side of football. Colts, Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville is dominating the division between the Colts, Jaguars, Houston, and the Titans. Right now, it's starting to shape out. I believe I said it was gonna be between the Colts and the Jags. Now it's looking like it might be between Houston and the Jags, but we'll see. But the Jags are definitely up front. They win 37-20, pretty dominant win. Minnesota Vikings get their second dub over the Chicago Bears, 19-13. Of course, they are playing without their best receiver in Justin Jefferson, but they get it done with their tight end as well as kind of just by committee from the receiving corps. Justin Fields, my notes here. Justin Fields, I think he got hurt. I'm not 100% sure, but he didn't play the whole game. He had only 10 attempts. I believe he gets hurt. But moving forward, the New England Patriots and the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders win. It's a close game, 21-17. If I'm the Patriots, there's a lot of heat on the Patriots. On the Patriots, you're pretty close to hitting that panic button. Again, by panic button, I don't mean like a scrambling panic, but just a sense of urgency and really doing whatever it takes to get a dub. So they're 1-5. I think if they drop to 1-6, 1-7 is when the point where you're like, you hit the panic button in terms of at some point the season's unsalvageable. So then you tank or you just expect to get the number one pick to try to vamp up, get ready for next year. I don't think they've gotten to that point yet to where they need to scramble and start looking at, okay, if we get the number one or number two draft pick, what are we going to do? It's still early enough to salvage, but the next two games have got to be must wins for the New England Patriots. All right, New England Patriots. So then now we have the Detroit Lions, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bucks only put up 6 points. Detroit, 20 points. Detroit is starting to pan out. Like I said, I wasn't sure how they were at first. They were looking good, and they kind of got some losses in. But Detroit is looking like a good team. They're 5-1. 5-1, first in the NFC North. And Jared Goff is playing good ball. 353 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, no interceptions. And St. Brown, 124 yards and a tutty. Williams, 53 yards and a tutty. Reynolds had 50 yards. So Jared Goff is distributing the ball, and they're kind of doing it by committee between the run game and the passing. Even though the run game wasn't much there this past game, but Montgomery has shown that he can be a dominant runner. Cardinals, Rams. Rams take the dub 26-9. Cooper Kupp is back, and he's in full effect. Cooper Kupp also had another fantastic game. He has 7 catches for 148 yards and a tutty. Matt Stafford, 226 with a passing touchdown. And Williams, 20 carries, 158 yards, and a tutty. So they're getting it done on the ground and in the air. So let's see if the Rams, they move up to 3-3. Cardinals are 1-5. Again, Cardinals in the same boat that the Patriots are in. Any team that's 1-5 or 0-6 right now, which I'm not sure if there's a team that's 0-6, but if there's any teams in that gray area, you got about, I'd say, 2 games left before it's pretty much it on the season. Because if you go 0-7 or 1-6, you at that point you got to win 10 games straight basically to get back on the other side of it, and just the likelihood of that's very, 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 very low. So I say you got this week and next week, and after that, it's pretty much it in terms of trying to get back on the winning side of football. If you're a team that's only got 1-0 or 1 win and things like that. So moving on, Eagles, Jets, another one. So there are no more undefeated teams left in the NFL. San Francisco 49ers and the Eagles were the only 2 undefeated teams left. And they both took L's this week. And New York Jets upset the Eagles 14-20. It was a close game. It was a tight game all the way to the end. But Jets are the ones that come away with it. And again, I've been saying this since week 1. The Jets defense is legit. They held the Eagles to 14 points, that offense to 14 points. And the reason why the Jets are back in the conference now, they're 3-3, so I believe now, if I remember, let me double check something right now. Yeah, they moved to 3-3, so now they're back to 500. So they can start. They have a bye week this upcoming week, but if they can start stringing together some games, now you're on the other side of winning football, over 500, and it's literally been on the backs of your defense and your run game offensively. So that's one good thing. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm yawning. I always do these when I'm like super tired. But again, for the Eagles, they take that one loss. I think it's gonna be kind of like Miami. They're gonna get a lot, or San Francisco and New York, San Francisco and Philly. I think it's just gonna be kind of like Miami. They're gonna take a loss, but that's not gonna shake them. They're gonna come back and they're gonna start playing dominant football again. You know, every dog has its day. So I'm not panicking or overreacting to the loss for the Philadelphia Eagles. New York Giants, Buffalo Bills. This was Sunday night. This was actually an exciting game. Saquon Barkley is basically fully back into the system or the scheme of the offense, and it definitely showed. One of the New York Giants defense has stepped up, and they played probably the best ball they played all year against Josh Allen and that team. Now, Stephon Diggs did go off. He went crazy, but they kept them out of the end zone for the most part. Stephon, where is he at? Because Stephon Diggs went crazy. He had 10 catches for 100 yards, obviously 10 yards per catch. And then Cook, running back, had 71 yards on 14 catches. Allen had 169, 2 pass touchdowns, and an interception. But they were keeping them out of the end zone, which definitely will get you wins in a football game. And then the Giants, which is surprising, they're playing better. I believe one reason why they're playing better is Tyrod Taylor was the starter for the New York Giants. And he looked pretty good. I've actually been a Tyrod Taylor fan even back when he was with the Bills. But I've been a Tyrod Taylor fan, and I'm actually going to be interested to see how they go moving forward. If they just stay with, they're going to stay rocking with Tyrod Taylor because they looked good yesterday. He had 200 yards, no touchdowns, but he didn't throw any interceptions. Saquon Barkley had 24 carries for 93 yards, and Slayton had 69 yards. Roberts had 62. Waller has 43. Hyatt had 21. So it was pretty much by committee. Tyrod Taylor was distributing the ball, and I liked Tyrod Taylor because he was making a lot of smart plays instead of going for. Now towards the end, I'll talk about the game because towards the end they obviously were going for down the field chunk yards, but for the most part of the game, he's looking downfield, looking down, and if he doesn't see anything he doesn't want, or if he has the ball a little too long, he's checking down. He's throwing safe, smart routes, which is one reason why he didn't throw any interceptions. But in turn, that's also a reason why they didn't really get any touchdowns because they weren't really going for explosive plays. Now, towards the end, I will say New York should have won this game. They got robbed. There was a pass interference that happened in the end zone, second to last play. So because it happened in the end zone, ball goes on the 1 yard line, I think, or 3 yard line, something like that. And it was an untimed down because that was the last play. Pass interference, they put the ball down. One untimed play. No times on the clock, but they get one play. Then they run another play where tight end, I believe it's Waller, they bring in motion and it turns to a bunch. So there's a Waller, I believe another, I forget who's right here, but it becomes a tight bunch set to the right of Tyrod Taylor. He hikes the ball, tight end dish downs. They look like they're blocking in to make it look like a run. And then Tyrod Taylor throws the pop because tight end comes in, turns, look for the ball. And the defender that is on Waller is literally it's a hold and a pass interference that it should have been called. I believe it wasn't called because it would have been back-to-back flags with the game on the line. That is a lot of pressure for refs, and I do believe if he had thrown it, he would have gotten that ref would have gotten a lot of flack either way. He's getting social media, it's a lose-lose. There would have been flack either way, but the right call would have been a pass interference. So they should have got another untimed down. Now where they would have scored on that one or not, we don't know, but they should have at least got another try at the end zone with that pass interference and untimed down. So they got robbed of that. It's clear as day. I mean, it's all over Sports Center how that was a flag. And I do believe that the review post-game, they said that it should have been a flag, but, it's too late, can't call it. But New York definitely looked a lot better, even though they did get they didn't get the dub. And Monday Night Football, Dallas back with another dub. They go to 4-2. They beat the Chargers. Dak Prescott looked pretty good, 21 for 30, so pretty good completion percentage. Pretty good completion percentage. 272, one passing touchdown, and he also had a rushing touchdown. He led the team in rushing, which is 40 yards on 7 carries. CeeDee Lamb 117 yards. Pollard 80 yards. Cooks 36 with a tutty. Gallup 24. Ferguson 15. So definitely back on track for where Dallas is trying to be. And I mean that defense was just suffocating for Herbert. But that is good. So that was week 6. So now looking forward to week 7 this week. Thursday Night Football is tomorrow. Jacksonville Jaguars Saints. This was interesting because Jacksonville has been rolling this year. Saints are a 1-point favorite. So it's supposed to be a tight game, but I think the reason why Saints are a big favorite is just because of the Saints defense. If I go to the matchup, they have the 3rd defense in the NFL. And the Jacksonville Jaguars have the 12th offense in the NFL. So I think they're really just banking on the Saints defense really keeping them in the game. But I think that's going to be interesting because I would probably take the underdog on that game if I was a bettor. Take the underdog for Jacksonville. Cleveland Colts. Cleveland's a 3-point favorite. I'm not sure how this one will go. Again, you got the number 1 defense. So, again, I think this is also another bet where they're banking on the defense. Myles Garrett's been playing out of his mind this year. So, I think he's going to be in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. We'll see. But I believe that they're a 3-point favorite purely off of the defense because Nick Chubb, their best offensive tool or best offensive player, is out. And Deshaun Watson's just been playing okay. Patriots, Bills, I'm not really interested in that. I believe Patriots are going to take it, or Bills are going to take it pretty smooth, I think. Again, Bill Belichick, it's one of those games where you're going against a team that has to give a must win, and they're going to, I think, pull out all the stops, do whatever they can to get the win against Buffalo. But I'll take Buffalo Bills in that. Raiders, Bears, I'll take Raiders with Garoppolo. He, for the most part, makes pretty smart decisions with the ball. And Justin Fields, he's just been a little too inconsistent. He looked good in that one dub they got, but they haven't been able to get another string of offensive play calling or another string of games where he is playing to that level that he played that one game. So he's been a little too inconsistent. So right there, I'm banking on his inconsistency for the Raiders to get that dub. Washington Giants. This one I'm actually interested. I think Giants might take this one. The Commanders are a 2-point favorite, but if Tyrod Taylor plays and Saquon Barkley plays, I believe I might take New York Giants as that underdog for that because I think Tyrod Taylor is just a good game manager, a clock manager, and I believe that he makes smart plays, but when you need him to, he can get the ball downfield. I might go Giants with that one just because they have momentum. Falcons, Bucks. I'm going to go Bucks because I think Baker Mayfield had a rough game last week. That's why they got the loss. But he's been fairly consistent on the good side, playing good ball. So I'm going to go with the Bucks, 2.5-point favorite. I'll go with the Bucks on that. I don't think Baker's going to have 2 back-to-back games of kind of a down play. And I do believe Mike Evans is going to get back to where he was at the beginning of the season, playing outstanding football and catching the ball. Detroit Ravens. Ravens is a 3-point favorite. I'm going to go Detroit. I'm taking a lot of underdogs this week. I'm going to go Detroit. They're a 3-point favorite for Baltimore. I'll go Detroit just because I believe they are actually I think they're a more well-rounded team. I think Ravens' offense is a little more explosive, obviously with Lamar Jackson. But I believe that in totality, I think the Detroit Lions have a better team top to bottom. Detroit Lions actually have the 3rd best offense in the game, and they have the 8th best defense. So they have a top 10 offense, top 10 defense. Now, Baltimore, they're statistically, they're 13th. Their defense is 4th. But they are 5th in 3rd down conversions. So it's obviously going to come down, like I always preach, it's going to come down to takeaways, 3rd down conversions. If Baltimore can convert on 3rd downs, then I think it's going to be absolute mayhem for Detroit, because just trying to contain a quarterback that can stay in the pocket and throw downfield as well as scramble and kill you with his legs. It's just hard. It's just harder to defend against. But I am gonna go Detroit. Seahawks, Cardinals. I'm gonna go Seahawks. Cardinals have just not been playing well this year. Kyler Murray is out, so it's been Joshua Dobbs. So I mean, there is some context to that. But I'm gonna go Seahawks. If we're looking at matchup defensively, it's probably gonna be a high-scoring game. Both their defense is not very good. Seahawks 20th defense. The Cardinals defense is 29th. What's the spread on this? Ooh, spread's 44.5. So I'm still gonna go Cardinals just because if I got to bank, I'm banking on Geno Smith than I am before I'm banking on Joshua Dobbs. Steelers, Rams, 3-point favorite. I'm gonna go against it. I'm leaning towards Rams because of Cooper Kupp. It's hard to bet against him because he can do it all, Mr. Triple Crown. But I'm gonna bet on the Steelers just because of coaching. Steelers is just I think Steelers is probably one of the most well-coached teams, regardless of their record. Now, they are 3-2. They're over 500. So they have a winning record. But I think Steelers are one of the most well-coached teams, and that is what breeds consistency. And that's why with the Steelers, they never lose. They never really go on losing streaks. They might go on winning streaks, but they never really go on losing streaks because of how well-coached they are. So they're fairly consistent. So because of that, I'm going to go with the Steelers, even though statistically I shouldn't. They have the 31st defense against, they have the 31st offense against the Rams' 5th placed offense. Their defense is 30th and the Rams' defense is 12th. Statistically, I shouldn't go against them, but I'm just going to go. I'm literally going off of coaching, and I think matchup-wise, which is a big part, which numbers are good, are an important indicator, but there's also context behind matchups. And I think Mike Tomlin's gonna dial something up for the matchup to get them another win for this one. Green Bay Broncos. This is a 1-point favorite game for Green Bay, and I want Broncos to get the dub. I'm gonna go Green Bay. I'm just gonna go Green Bay just because their defense is decent. It's bottom middle of the pack, 18th, and obviously the Broncos offense is dead last. I'm going to go Green Bay, but if Broncos do get this dub, I won't be surprised. The defense has to just literally do just enough. And I think Russell Wilson against the Packers, I think he can get it done. I think he can have 250 plus yards against the Packers, 2 touchdowns, maybe an interception, but maybe 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and maybe a rushing touchdown. I see something like that. Kansas City Chiefs, Chargers, 5.5-point favorite. I'm going to go with Kansas City simply because Patrick Mahomes is that guy. We all know that he can kill you. He extends the plays. And then you got Travis Kelce, who's a monster. So I'm just going to go Chiefs purely off of Patrick Mahomes. They do have the 4th best offense in the NFL. And the Chargers have the 31st defense. So, I mean, talking about a top 5 offense going against the bottom 2 defense, I think Kansas City is going to get pretty much whatever they want. Now, Miami Dolphins and the Eagles. This is the game I am waiting for. And it's Sunday night primetime, so I'll be able to watch it. So I'll be able to watch all these games this week. But Miami Dolphins, Philadelphia Eagles. This one's going to be tough. Both 5-1. And I believe this could be a potential matchup for Super Bowl. Anyway, let's get into it. So you have the number 1 and number 2 offense. Miami's offense number 1, Philly's number 2. Defense. Philly's defense is number 9, top 10. Miami's defense is 24th. Now, I think this is gonna. I don't think this comes down to quarterback play. I think this comes to the run. Offensively, it's gonna come down to the run game. I think whichever team gets their run game established will be the team that wins. Now, Mostert's been playing absolutely phenomenal. And even the other running back, I can't pronounce his name, but he just got hurt. But if they get the ball to Mostert and Philly's front 7 can't control the run game, then that's where I think the game falls apart because they both are great third down conversions. Third down conversion is Philly's first, Miami's 7. So both of them are top 10 in third down conversions, which I harp on being Very, very important. Now, Miami's first in rushing, passing, and points. Philly is ninth in passing, second in rushing, fifth in points. So I mean, you're talking about two stellar offenses going against each other. Now, where the difference is that defense. Philly's passing defense is 20th. Their rushing defense is second. Their points is 16th. Their third down conversion is 22nd. And then Miami's, it's all pretty much bottom 20 or 20 and worse, just about. Their passing defense is 19th. But I believe this comes down to offensively, again, third down conversion, staying on the field on third down. But I think it comes down to the run game. Whoever gets their run game established will win the game, because when you get the run game established, it forces the defense to load the box. When you force the defense to load the box, that means it opens up opportunities and play calls for your receivers. Both teams have a crazy receiving core. You got Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, even Mostert can catch out the backfield. And then for Eagles, you got Devontae Smith, you got AJ Downtown Brown. And I mean, you got tight end play. You gotta get the run established. Whoever gets the run established and whoever can dominate the run game, I think will win this game. But I'm excited for this one. I don't know who will win. Philly's a 2.5-point favorite. It's tough to say. I think if I had to bet money, I would probably bet Miami Dolphins, only because Tyreek Hill is so explosive. If it is a close game, if you get the ball in his hands, he is always one play away from being in the end zone, no matter where he is on the field. You could be backed up on your own 10. You could be in your own 20. You could be in midfield. You could be in the red zone. At any given moment, Tyreek Hill is so explosive. If you get the ball in his hand, he is literally a play away, sometimes literally a tackle away, a single defender away from being in the end zone. So I would bank on that, and I would go Miami, even though I want Philly to win. I think Miami's going to win simply because of their explosive playmaker from Tyreek Hill and the speed he has to torch the secondary. And then last but not least, Monday night, San Francisco 49ers, Minnesota Vikings. I think San Francisco gets it back. I think Debo and Ayuk and the running back, as well as Brock Purdy. I believe that they'll come back. And just like I said with Miami when they got their first loss, they're gonna shake back. Their first loss is not gonna mess them up too bad, and that will be good. But that is what I'm looking forward to for Week 7, starting tomorrow. Hopefully this comes out on Wednesday. It should. But anyway, that's gonna conclude this episode of the NFL coverage. We'll catch you guys next week.
I'm dancing.